All right, welcome to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. I'm your man, Big Jack. This is where we prove we are stronger together, that if each one would reach one, we can all grow and glow. And you know, this is the last Sunday of the month, so you know exactly what that means. It is the Gentleman's Journal, and I got a panel for you today. I mean, this panel was loaded with all kinds of expertise. I guess the men on this panel is going to knock it out of the park today. So I'm super excited about it. We know this, or if you don't know, this is going to be the last Gentleman's Journal of the year, live anyway, because we're going to be transitioning into the Iron Sharpening Iron universe for 2026. So this is going to be it. This is going to be the last one. But I got a good one in for you. And so that I don't want to waste too much time, because I know our time is valuable and I know we got some good things to say, I'm going to go ahead and get this party started. So let me get my man up on the stage. My man, what's up?
My man, Big Jack. What's happening, sir?
Oh, man, you know, look, it's the last Gentleman's Journal of the year. Hard to believe, bro. We're there. Yeah.
Hey, man, it looks like iron will be sharpening iron tonight. We got a full house, man. Let's get ready to rumble, man. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
Well,
excited.
I gotta say happy birthday to you. I mean, I gotta put it out there. So, you know, happy
Appreciate you,
birthday to
man.
you, my man. Walt Talks
Thank you, sir.
today is his birthday. I think you
Yeah.
went 51, 52, something
62,
like that.
baby. In spite of
62?
myself, 62. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, glad to be
Yeah.
here. 62.
No,
Yeah.
man, I'm super glad to have you here. And I know you could have been doing a lot of other things on the day, but you're spending it with me, and that's awesome. So I appreciate it, bro. I really do appreciate it.
Worked out, man. My grandkids came and hung out with me today. I literally did absolutely nothing, and I was 30 minutes late doing that today. So the grandkids came through. My daughter and my son-in-law's grandkids came through about 2, and they just left probably 30 minutes ago. So
Right.
perfect time. Yeah, perfect
That's
time.
good. That's good. Well, here we go. So look. We like you said, we got a huge
Yeah.
panel, and
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and get these guys up here so we can do our thing, right? Because we got another letter in. I can tell you that right now. So another letter came in.
Okay.
So
Well, I got my notebook, man. I know these guys will be taking copious notes with this crew you have tonight. So I'm excited.
All right. Well, let's get them up on the stage,
Let's
and
go.
once we get them up on the stage, we'll kick this show off. So let's get them to the stage then.
All right.
All right, there we go. All right. Gentlemen, welcome to the Gentleman's Journal. If you don't know me, I'm Big Jack Storytime. My man Walt Talks. And I'm super excited to have y'all all up on the stage. 2 of you are veterans here, all Hall of Famers up on the stage, so we don't have to introduce you. So we got Mexicali Fishkeeper down there and Aqua Funk in the other corner. So but I see some newcomers up on the stage, Walt. So we're gonna make sure we
yes, sir.
introduce themselves to us a little bit so that everyone out there that's watching will know who they are. And then from there, we can get busy on this letter that we had emailed in. So I'm going to start with you, Craig, if you don't mind. Can you tell us just a little bit about yourself, sir?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, you guys. My name is Craig Woodall. I am originally from Anderson, Indiana. I was in the Air Force for 6 years. I lived in Utah for about 30 years, and now I live in North Carolina. I have an invention. I've created an invention, but it's basically by happenstance. I'm just trying to make it happen, and I'm happy to be on the panel.
All right.
Nice.
Okay. All right. And look, welcome, Craig, and thank you. And we do have you scheduled to be on the Iron Sharpening Iron show. So with those who are out there watching, you will definitely be able to meet Craig and get a little bit more behind the scenes on who you are, your inventions and all that when you get you on the show in December. So we got you already scheduled for December. All right. So thank you for being on this Gentleman's Journal panel. And I got Michael down there. Michael, tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
Sir, what's up? Thanks for having me, guys. I'm Michael Troush. I'm the young buck here, 21, but I'm a baseball player with the Texas Rangers in the minor leagues. My mom was on Big Jack and Walt's podcast last week, I think. So she talked me into it, got me into this, and I'm really excited to be here. And I look forward to the conversations we're about to have.
All right, no problem, no problem.
Appreciate you guys, man.
Yes, sir.
I hope she didn't have to push too hard to get you up here on the stage. So
nah. I was all in for it. I was like, yes, I'm
man.
All right, yay. So, and then look, I see Anthony My Time in the chat, and I think I was supposed to bring him up on the stage. So at My Time, I apologize to you. I didn't drop the link. I get confused. I'm old, so give me a break and forgive me on this one. So he is in the chat, and I seen that I was supposed to drop him a link too. So I apologize at My Time. But gentlemen, we do got a question that came in, and this question is from a young man who, matter of fact, his name is Marcus. So. And he has a situation that hopefully you gentlemen can help him with. So if I'm looking off of the camera, I'm reading at my monitor is above my computer monitor. So if you see me looking up, that's what I'm trying to do is read his email. But then at the same time, once we get through that, we'll discuss his situation. So it just says, "Dear Gentleman's Journal. My name is Marcus, and I'm a 25-year-old man trying to make one of the hardest decisions of my life. About a month ago, I started dating a woman who is 24. From the very beginning, something about her felt different, mature, grounded, soft-spoken, and generally good for my spirit. We connected quickly, and for the first time in a long time, I could actually picture a future with someone. But just a few days ago, she told me something that turned my whole world upside down. She's pregnant, and the baby's not mine. She made it clear that this happened before she and I started talking. She was honest, direct, and didn't try to hide anything. She told me she understood if I walked away, but she also admitted she hoped I don't, because she really likes me and believes we could have something real. And that is what have me torn. On one hand, I truly care about her. I love the way she carries herself, the peace she brings, and the way she makes me want to be a better man. But on the other hand, we've only dated for a month. I'm not sure I'm ready to step into the situation involving another man's child, possible drama, and whoever the father is, or responsibilities I'm not even sure I'm prepared for. I talk to my family, men and women, and the advice is completely mixed. Some are telling me to run while it's still early. Others are telling me that good women are hard to come by. So stick around, and that child doesn't erase the quality she has. Now I'm stuck in the middle, confused, honestly scared, and whatever decision I make will change the entire course of my life. So I'm turning to the panel. I need the wisdom, the honesty, the perspective of men who have lived a little more than I have. Should I step back before things get too deep, or should I stay and see if this woman might be the blessing I didn't expect? And now, let me say, and how do I even begin to make the right decision without letting fear, emotions lead me the wrong direction? Sincerely, Marcus. All right. So the ball has been dropped. We know where we are. Marcus is 25, dating a 24-year-old who is now pregnant. They've only been dating for a month, and
I don't know.
And she is pregnant. So he didn't say how long she's pregnant.
Right, I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah, she is pregnant. So I'm not sure what the time is on that. But he is torn. So I'm gonna go with I see Aqua Funk got the fingers up. So Aqua, we got for us, Aqua.
She's about 3 months pregnant. A little more than 3 months pregnant. Because that's how come he didn't know.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
She so that means She's less than 3 months pregnant. That means she was with her ex-boyfriend less than 3 months ago. Seeing as how he was with her for a month, that means 2 months, at least 2 months before he was with her, she was with her ex-boyfriend who is now her baby daddy. There's always going to be a soft spot for the baby daddy in a woman's life. I'm sorry. I just believe that. And if he's having this many issues over a girl that he just met a month ago, yo, just make a clean break, bro. I mean, is the baby daddy a thug? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if he a thug, just run, just go, just go. Don't mess with it. It's not worth it, Marcus. Go, run, Marcus, run.
All right. Okay. Look, Michael. Yeah, I know you're the young one in the bunch, and this is under your age group. So,
yeah.
What would you say here?
Listen, I'm young, but I've had relationship experience. I was in a 2-year relationship. I thought she was the love of my life, and I was going to marry her. We're not together anymore, and life goes on. And listen, I don't need to say much here. I'm the younger, but I'm just gonna say, dude, just leave. Just leave. It's exactly what Aqua said, bro. It hasn't been that long. And look, there are tons of women out there. Yeah, she might be a good one in his eyes, but he's only known her for 1 month. And she's pregnant with another man's child. Like, I don't know, me personally, I can't do that. I'd much rather just take the walk, and then find someone else. Even if it takes another year, like, don't take on that burden of somebody else. Like, it's just like Aqua said, the baby daddy, so much drama that you just don't need in your life. So, I mean, he might think she's great, but there's other great women that don't have baby daddies and aren't pregnant. So,
okay. All right.
That's my advice.
All right, so I'm gonna keep going at that bottom row if it's all right. So Mexicali, do you have anything for this young man that you could throw out there?
It's really an interesting situation, and this is coming from somebody that was willing to raise 3 kids that were not his from when I remarried, but that's a whole different circumstance there. There's exactly. No comparison there. Mm-hmm. What makes it so difficult is because it's a brand new relationship, and in brand new relationships, everything seems to be heightened. Mm-hmm. So maybe, I don't know. It's real tough. The other thing is, how involved is the child's father? Is it somebody that's really going to want to be participating in that relationship or not? I mean, there's a lot of factors that we don't know about. But in reality, outside looking in, it's a lot more complication that you really need to take on at such a young age, especially not having any prior experiences with real serious relationships. So it's one of those things where maybe play it out, see what happens, but not really take it any further than trying to get to know. No different than when you're starting to get to know somebody. That'll give you the opportunity to see how things are going to play out and which directions they're heading in. But don't be fooled. If you see all the red flags popping up, just pull the ejection card and get out. I mean, it's not your responsibility. You kind of came into this relationship. This kind of happened. If you want to see if this is the person that you think it is, you got a little bit of time to write it out, but I wouldn't make any serious commitments until you really see how this is playing out, what's going to happen, because it is just inheriting a bag of issues. I mean, it's talk about when people say it's complicated, it doesn't get more complicated than that.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. I'm going to go with you, Craig, if you got anything for us.
One of the biggest things that men have dealt with for eons is paternal uncertainty. So it hasn't been very long, when you think about it, that we have a distinct ability to know that we are the father or not, right? And one of the things, and I'm taking like a slightly different slant with this, because it sounds as though she was honest from the very beginning.
Yes.
Right. I mean, arguably, we don't know whether or not she knew exactly when, but it sounds as though when she found out, she let him know. Right. So, yeah, time is one of those things that we don't necessarily have the luxury to know what's going to happen tomorrow, because tomorrow's not promised to us, right? So as quick as he was to move forward in the relationship, to do all those things, to practice, so to speak, and then find out that that person was pregnant with another child, or another man's child, maybe the relationship will blossom outside of the fact that he now has to consider these things. And time will tell all of those things, but I wouldn't necessarily say just simply pick up and run. If you got to the point that kind of made you say, this is possibly the person I want to be with, just because she happened to be pregnant. Imagine if he flipped himself and he was the person that happened to, the situation was broken up. What would happen to that woman who now has to deal with another man one day in her life that will have to raise his child, so to speak? So I don't know.
Okay. Very good point. I mean, that's a good way of looking at it. I appreciate that. I'm going to come to you, Walt. I got some follow-up questions to throw at you with this that when I saw the email. So, Walt, do you have anything just off the reading?
Yeah, just off the reading, your initial instinct is run for your life, right? But what I will say is I appreciate the fact that she was honest. Okay. We don't know how long, because she may not have had a choice of being honest, because the math probably wouldn't have mathed if it's been a couple of months, because that's too much of a gap to hide, right? But all of that aside, if the young man is my son or my nephew, and I'm having a conversation with him, and he's telling me how he feels about this person, right? At the end of the day, what you resist only persists. So my suggestion with him, or I would say, just do nothing and let the music play. Because if she weren't pregnant, you would be taking your time anyway, correct? So he can still establish a relationship, be a friend. They didn't say if they had consummated their relationship. I don't want to assume anything, but maybe I missed it. But I still say, just let the music play. Let the music play, see what happens, have a conversation, and the truth will reveal itself. What you should do, it'll happen. But at 25, and it sounds like this is the first woman he's really fallen head over heels for, his emotions are in the way, and he is liable to make a decision that he doesn't have to make at this time. There's nothing that says he has to decide one way or the other right now. So just let the music play. Maybe you guys become friends. Maybe he becomes Uncle so and so, or maybe he becomes the stepdad. I don't know, but he doesn't have to make a decision. In fact, it's almost like, and this is just me, it's almost as if she's putting him on the clock, or he's thinking she's putting him on the clock. And I'm looking over my man Craig's left shoulder, and it says, "I don't chase, I attract. What belongs to me simply finds me." Right, Craig? So I'm of that mindset. If it's to be, it's to be, but you got to let the music play to see what happens, and for everybody to really put their cards on the table and expose themselves. But he doesn't have to make a decision right now at all.
All right, I can go with that. So for those who just popping in and you're not sure what's going on, so we had an email sent in to the Gentleman's Journal, and it was a 25-year-old young man who is in a relationship for 1 month, but he finds out that the person he's in a relationship with, and she told him that she is pregnant and it's not his child. So we don't know if they even, slept together or anything like that. But she's already letting them know up front. She already letting them know up front it's not yours. So with all that being said, so that's what we are, and we're discussing because he's concerned on what should he do. So my question, and it goes on with that, what should a young man consider? So now we're talking about what he should be considering before stepping into a situation involving another man's child. So anyone out here have ever, and I know Mexicali, you made that comment. So what are some of the things that you consider before you say, I'm going to take this step and I'm going to go in there? So any one of you can speak up on this one. So, yeah.
Yeah. So I've only had one instance where I dated a woman with kids. And I learned real fast that when I wasn't number 1 or 2, I was actually number 3 on the list.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So for this month that he was with her, he thought he was number one. But now that she's pregnant, he ain't number two to the child because now there's a baby daddy. So now she's got a responsibility to the baby daddy. He keeps bumping down. So after, and I mean, as a father myself, I'm gonna insist I have a part in the child's life. So I'm gonna insist I have a part in her life. So he gonna be the odd man out every time, especially only after 1 month. There's gonna be decisions that have to be made over futures, over money, and he ain't really a part of any of that, to be real.
Yeah.
So he got to realize that he's just gonna have to eat everything her, the baby, the family of the father. He's got to realize he really ain't. He's way down on the list of importance in this woman's life right now.
Wow. Okay.
And the reason I say that,
we
wait a minute, Craig. Well, 1 second. Go ahead, Walt. Go ahead.
And to his point, my thing isn't as much as the role he's willing to take with the child or with the lady.
Yeah.
My thing is, I want the music to play because he will walk through a level. He will come out of this, whatever happens, at a higher level of maturation. He will be more mature by dealing with this as opposed to making a hasty decision either way. I mean, this is just life and this is what happens. So I'm looking at it from his mental health because here's the thing, let's be clear, as men, you all know we suffer more in our imaginations as humans, really. So he can paint this scenario about what if and what could have been without even having experienced any of that. I mean, he doesn't even know her yet. I mean, let's just say she weren't so just know her as a person, which, and I'm saying this is 62 years old, fellas. So, and especially Michael, don't get on me on this one. I know you're a young stud, but at 62, hey man, a month, you got to get to know her anyway, because she really hasn't revealed, you just know her representative right now, even if she weren't pregnant.
Representative. I like that.
All right. So Craig, you did have something that you was getting ready to say. So I'm gonna let you go ahead, Craig.
Well, I was just gonna say that the difference between, and I mean, I have some experience with regards to this on some level, but if it's so early in the relationship and the knowledge that the child exists, put yourself down when you meet a person, 7 years down the road or whatever, when you know that mother has a child already. It's slightly different, but it's the same type of situation. You will be probably putting yourself in a situation where you are, quote unquote, taking care of another man's child. And by the way, the fact that we as fathers, if we are fathers or men, might have the instinct to protect a child, even though they may be an adult, at the end of the day, we do have a certain instinct to protect even the woman and the woman's children, right? So
Absolutely.
it's slightly different than the way mothers are, who will, go to the ends of the world, but we still have that kind of desire to see any child out there and take care of them.
Exactly.
Now, the relationship be damned, so to speak, because it hasn't really been established. And so I think what we all are basically kind of intimating is that it's very difficult to say how to proceed this early,
Yes.
but I like I said, I'm going to go back, and some of us said, well, we don't know if he knew. It sounded like she told him this was clearly before we got together.
Absolutely.
So they did obviously get together. He wouldn't even have any concern as to whether it was his or
right,
not,
right.
So
great point, Craig. Yes.
Yeah,
Great
Yeah.
point.
I agree with
Great
that.
point.
Yeah.
Great point.
So, all right. Do anyone else have anything even on that as far as things he should consider? I mean, I've been in this situation. My first marriage, like you said, Craig, my first wife had a child before we got together, so I knew that there was a kid going into the relationship. But to start a relationship with someone and then find out that person is carrying, that's and they're not carrying a weapon. So they're carrying, so they got the right to carry, but at the same time, it's like, okay, how involved are you going to get? How how much are you going to invest into this thing? Because this is a lot of developing that the child's going to do inside the mom, and there's a lot of things that the mom's going to change, and you're there part of that. So how much do you invest in the time that you know is going to take? Say she's 2 months or 3 months. I say 3 months. So now we're looking 6 months before she deliver. That's a lot to invest in. So is that something you want to get involved with? And you're 1 month into this relationship. So, you're looking at the next 6 months of your, say if you stay, the next 6 months is all about making sure you take your vitamins and making sure you go to your doctor's appointments and Lamar's and all those other things. So I see, Mike, you look like you got something. What you got for me, man?
I mean, look, I honestly get terrified of kids because I'm young, but so I would like just run.
Smart man. It was smart man.
Like that's like I'm just thinking run. But I will say this, I had a teammate at college, and he was dating a girl at the time. I was actually his roommate, so she was always over. Right after we graduated from, well, we didn't graduate, but right after I was done at junior college, I got drafted. They ended up having a baby, and I remember when I found out this news, I was shocked, and I was like, dude, he is not ready to be a dad. They're 21 years old. I'm like, dude, I know it might have been a mistake. Like, there's no way they're having this kid. They ended up having the kid. They were supposed to get married. I got invited to the wedding. And then my friend just left. Like, he literally just left her. He uprooted, moved to Texas, broke up with her, called off the wedding, and he left. She had the kid, and I felt terrible for her. I still keep in touch with her, and I don't really look at him the same because I thought that was a really scummy thing to do. You have to see there's consequences to your actions. Like if you know what you're getting yourself into, like pregnancy, that's not something little. Like that's a huge life altering thing. And so she's now raising this kid by herself, and she just got a new boyfriend, and I've been keeping up with her, and he's taking care of her kid. And she said it's the happiest she's ever been. And I mean, this guy's really stepped into her life, and I see him taking care of it, and he looks happy. I don't know all the details. So what I am saying is every situation is different. There's a lot of factors. Maybe it could work. Maybe. But honestly, you see, I'm just like, that's just too much for me, So I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's all good. No, it's good. Now, and that's so we did
By
talk
the way,
when we was talking, we were saying that a lot of the we were saying that the father wanted to be involved. So here we're talking about where the father don't want to be involved. So that's another thing that we haven't put on the table and even thought about. But so what happens if the father don't want to be involved? So, but good points, Michael. Go ahead, Walt. I see you up there.
But with a month, you really don't know.
See, that's the thing. It's only been one month.
It's only been 1 month. So I mean, this guy, we don't know her situation with the baby's father. We don't even know, and we're assuming that he know. Well, he said he didn't want any parts of it. She did say that, correct? Or did I read into that?
Not in the letter. He did not.
Yeah. So so we don't even know. We don't even know if he knows.
Right.
So the thing is, man. Again, I just feel like the best decision right now is no decision, because and I'm not saying don't walk away because this may work out and you may fall in love with this woman. I'm saying allow life to play out. This is not your child. This is not your responsibility. And there are a lot of lessons in life that he can learn in this process. If the guy turns out to be, like Aquafunk said, violent, aggressive, then it's best to just remove yourself from the equation. I get it. But at the same time, man, we really don't know what type of woman she is, and does she live on drama or not? I mean, we can make an assumption that she's being a responsible 25-year-old young lady, and I hope that's the case, but we still don't know. And he doesn't know. And he doesn't even know how she argues a month into this thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, like, without being pregnant, he doesn't even know if she fights fair. So he and she doesn't know that about him either. And to be honest with you, he doesn't know, because he's never been in a situation. He doesn't know how he'll respond under pressure. So I think that the responsible thing to do right now is let the music play, let this thing play out. If he runs and cuts bait, I get it 100%. Wouldn't blame him. But I just think he misses an opportunity to really find out who he is as a man, as a young man, but a man nonetheless, and where he stands and what he can learn from this and what his boundaries and level of tolerance are. That's my opinion.
All right, go ahead, Aqua. I see Aqua. You got something?
So now, don't get me wrong. Like, there's nothing in that letter that said that the father was a thug. I'm just all the experiences in my life from growing up. There's always somebody fresh out of jail and then somebody. But you know what I mean? That's my life. I don't know who these people, but I seen it happen 100 times. Nothing saying that she lied on anything. Ain't nothing saying. But that letter keeps telling me this guy has gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over this girl over 1 month. My issue is his expectations of a relationship of him and her. And that's it. That's for 1 month. All he'd known is it's me and her. It's Bonnie and Clyde. It's going to be a me and her, going forward together forever. And skirt. It's not that anymore. Nowhere close to that anymore. It's completely different. So I'm worried about his view of what the future is going to look like. Because the letter that he wrote had rainbows and unicorns. But it's not. It's diapers and bottles now and baby daddy drama now. That's a whole different story. So it's his expectations is what I'm worried about. You know what I'm saying?
No.
And that's my point.
Can I pose a question?
Great.
So let's imagine if instead of a child, it was a dementia mother or father or some family member like that, where she was hesitant to say this was the case and kind of delayed letting them know. But I think he might have to take, even with everything that we've said, we still have to kind of take it a day at a time and see how we would approach it. But I think, like I said in the very beginning, is that she probably deserves more credit than we likely are giving her because she was upfront from the very beginning. I mean, that to me is a very big thing.
And I don't disagree with any of that. I'm saying we can stipulate, Craig, that all of that is true. And I'm okay with that either way. I still say that my concern, and back to what Aquafunk said, I mean, he came across, oh my God, he came across sunshine. He came across sunshine, the elusive, incredible, unbelievable, gotta have it.
Yeah.
We all been there, right? And I'm telling you, a man in that position cannot be trusted with his emotions.
With his own, he's dangerous to himself.
He's dangerous to himself. So,
he ain't thinking with the right head.
He ain't thinking with the right head. But the problem I have,
that's a good point.
But the problem I have is just me and just being self-aware. Just think of your level of self-awareness.
Yeah.
If you don't face this head on and you walk away from it, and it's things are as good as you thought they were, you will then sensationalize this and make this into something that it probably never was, but you will think that it was. You need to just see what happens, because what'll happen if you don't make a decision? Nothing. She's still going to be pregnant. The baby's father will still be around. He'll still have feelings, which either way. And if that's the case, if he has these feelings 6 months, a year from now, and they become better friends and life turns out, fine. But if not, fine. But I tell you, if he walks away from this, oh man, come on, man, we've been there. 25, oh man, we're going to sensationalize this, man. She was the best thing since whatever, because he doesn't give it a chance. Because you really need to go down the rabbit hole in a sense with a person, maybe not by adopting the kid, but just knowing who this person is. And I tell you something else, she'll be under pressure that she hadn't been under before if this is her first child, and he'll find out a lot about her under these conditions. So I just think if you don't let it play, what you resist only persists, and he'll sensationalize this thing and make it more than what it is. And that's just, I just like, you got to find out who you are in this moment. You got to find that out. And I'm not saying you got to adopt a kid. I'm not saying you got to go put your name on the birth certificate. I'm not saying you need to be paying child support. I'm just saying you still need to find out who this woman is. He might be the godfather. You know.
All right, so wait a minute. So now I'm and go ahead, Mexico. I see you down there. Go ahead with you.
Yeah, no. What I wanted to add to that is, again, this is still a very brand new relationship, and I think we've kind of made some assumptions, assuming that
we have
they're going to move in together. He's going to try to raise this kid. They're still in the courtship of the relationship. Mm-hmm. So that doesn't mean that has to change. Yes, she is pregnant. But that doesn't mean that he still can't get to know her as to see if a relationship is going to blossom out of this. Maybe he finds out that it wasn't everything that he assumed to be, and it had nothing to do with the pregnancy. Maybe just they're not compatible in the long run. Because there is that honeymoon stage where everything's roses and everything's great. But the minute you start having to deal with tough situations, that's when the true colors of the people start coming out. And like you said, Walt, you're going to figure out, how does this person react when they're under pressure? Is it something that I'm going to be able to tolerate to be around? Or how do I react if I'm under serious pressure? Am I going to be able to come through, or am I going to break? Or, I mean, these are all things that you're only going to learn if you let them work its course. Now, that doesn't mean that you should move in with her and try to be the father. No. Continue to get to know this person like you would any other relationship, and see how it plays out. Obviously, this is going to be a little bit different because there's some extra complications to it, right? But that's going to give you the real indication whether this is something for you, or maybe you're not ready for this type of situation. And you'll learn that about yourself, and you'll be able to go, she might be a great person, but I'm not in the place where I need to be able to assume a lot of those responsibilities yet.
Agreed.
So, that's why I said for my situation, it was very different. I had already been through a marriage later in stage in life. Like Jack was saying, I knew she had 3 kids. I didn't meet the 3 kids until our relationship actually became something real. That's what, at that point where she felt like, okay, he's a decent guy. It's somebody that is going to be serious about being in a relationship. Up until that point, and I'm talking about maybe like 4 months into our dating, was that she said, "Oh, these are my kids," because she didn't want to. I understand her perspective, because she's not going to be introducing the kids to every person that she goes out on a date, because then that's a whole different chaos. But if this is the right person for him, he'll figure it out. He'll be able to work around this situation, and they'll make it work. Again, it's just too many unknown variables here to really give a definite answer to the situation. But Craig kind of really did change my mind, and you, Walt, about, let it play out. Let it really see what happens. Don't rush into things. That doesn't mean you guys have to move in together immediately and you try to be this father that you're not really sure if you really can take on. I guess, just let time take its course.
So it's the old adage, and this is anything we do in life, fellas. Anything we do in life, who benefits from your decision? Either way. I mean, when you're making a decision, right? When people, it's like, hey man, it's Christmas. I mean, it's a holiday season. Black Friday was the other day, right? You got to buy this thing right now if you want this discount. Anytime you're put under that kind of pressure, that's not always an accident. That's by design sometimes. And that's why, Craig, I love what you have over your shoulder, bro, because that's what it is. You can't chase, man. You just can't chase. And I mean, anything, especially this. So back to Craig, when you said about her a parent with dementia, 100%, I get it, but it's still not something. That's a long-term decision, and I know where you're going with this. But the baby, there's a lot that comes with this immediately, and you still don't know the position that the baby's father plays, or
Yeah.
If he's not decent, he may have said one thing. He could have said one thing, and we back to Mexicali. We're making some assumptions here because we got to read between the lines on a lot of this. But if this guy wants to cause chaos, he can. And if she, back to what my man Aquafong said at the beginning, we don't even know clearly. She must have had some emotions for this guy because she got pregnant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she decided she was going to have a child. And I'm not, without getting into that whole other issue, that's a whole nother conversation for another time. But clearly there must have been some type of emotional attachment there for her to proceed. And now maybe things changed. I don't know. So, I mean, you just don't know. And the only way you find that out is let the music play. You got to let it play. You got to let it play.
So,
yeah.
For those who are watching, and thank you, and welcome to the Iron Sharpening Iron show. And we know it's the last Sunday, and it's the Gentleman's Journal. But what we're discussing is we got a letter in from a 25-year-old who is dating a woman for 1 month and found out that she is now pregnant and is not his. She's been honest with him all the way up front about that, and so we're more discussing should he stay, should he run. So if you're in the chat and you're watching, go ahead and please drop your comments in the chat so that we can see your point of view on all of this, on how our man Marcus is his name should handle this. Now, one of the things I heard from what y'all was saying, gentlemen, I'm listening and I'm paying attention, but I do know, and if any of you been through the process of the what they say from conception to birth, and we know that there's going to be some time. So now you're like, well, we was going to go to the movies, now we're going to the clinic. Where we was going to, so it's a change of where you're going. So some of these dates are now not the normal date that we normally go to.
Yeah.
And that's where I think I was more talking about the more you stay and the longer you stay, even if you're letting the music play, the emotions and all of that go with it. Now you're in the process too. You're in the process of watching this child grow and watching this child develop. And if you're going with her and hanging with her, and like I say, I know we're assuming a lot of things, but if you're going to be real with this person and you're there watching the sonograms and hearing the heartbeats and feeling the kicks and all of those things. All right, so then when you walk away at birth, like that was too much. I'm stepping to the side. So, so where do we,
Great question. Because great question, Jack. Because I'm not saying again that, and I think I kind of touched on this, that he has to step into that role as the surrogate, so to speak, right? Surrogate stepdad, surrogate dad. I didn't say that, and I'm pretty sure I touched on that. Yeah. It's just because if she is speeding up the clock on him, then that's a sure sign also. Oh, okay, I see what's going on here, right? But again, at 25, 1 month, he writes a letter and says he's in this position. Man, he's open. He's wide open, Jack.
Yep.
He got a hook in his nose, man. I mean, he's I mean, come on, man. He got all there, So the thing is, that's not going to go away unless he really finds out what he really feels for this person, let alone girlfriend, mother. He needs to know what he feels. He doesn't. Go ahead, Craig. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt. And I was going to go back to kind of like what Mexicali said. And basically, I mean, he reached out to us, but he also said that he talked to friends and family. So, I mean, there is a lot of maturity. If we dig deep into what this brother has said, we can kind of see that he's kind of probably doing what we would be suggesting to him, which is take your time, think about it, consider the consequences, which, by the way, young folks nowadays, and maybe Michael might tell you, they don't think about the consequences like myself. Never. You're 62, Walt, I'm 55 now. I mean, we have the luxury of life past already, looking for a shorter period of time before us that says all of those things that we had to deal with, we could have probably made better decisions, including, by the way, how we react and interact with people, right?
Yes.
We don't have to be so hot-headed like we were when we were probably younger. So a little brevity and pauseness goes a long ways and probably keeps us living to our 80s and 90s.
Yes, sir. And I think that's a great point. That is a fantastic point. But I still say, and I still say, advice is what you ask for when you already know the answer and wish you didn't. So for him to have this level of conversation, trust me, he's leaning in a certain way, right? He feels a certain way. And I still say, man, you gotta just, if he's having that conversation, look, here's the thing. If he weren't attracted to her, if he wasn't thinking about it, it wouldn't be a letter. It wouldn't be a conversation. He'd just be gone, right?
He'd just be gone.
So clearly he's thinking about it. And and what I'm saying is, and I think what we all are saying is, the only way you're going to figure this out is to figure it out. But trust me, man, when we're making assumptions that she's a nice young lady, decent young lady, she's honest at least, but she's still a human being. She's still a human being. So if he walks away and he's not fully vested in walking away, and he's 1 foot out, 1 foot in, and she wants to play on that or decided she wanted to play on that, he's going to be in a bigger mess than he's in now. So the main thing is, man, to just take your time and figure out where you are with this woman. And trust me, bro, life is simple, but it ain't easy. but life is simple, man, but it's not easy. It's not easy.
And there's no instruction manual.
And there's no instruction manual, man. And he's got to figure it out. But what you don't take care of today will come back to bite you.
100%.
It will come back to bite you. So you gotta address it.
I see Aqua Funk down there. He got his church finger up. Go ahead.
That's my man.
All right, so let me I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna step over onto Mexicali, Greg, and Walt's side just for the purposes of this conversation and help you out, Marcus. Marcus, we're gonna go ahead and let this, and we're gonna ride this train and see where it go, Marcus. But let's ride it on the funky side. You're gonna go ahead with this woman because you're gonna see where this leads. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna go ahead and see. I'm gonna see where this leads. I'm gonna go with her to her sonogram appointment. And she's happy because you her man and you supporting her, and you go to the doctor's office and she laying on that bed and they put the goo on her belly and she and woo 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 woo, and she looking at the little monitor and she got a smile on her face, and you standing there on the side of the bed, and when she look at the man, you think it's you. No, it's the baby daddy. He in the room with her, and she's smiling at him because that's her baby. You know why? Because they had sex, Marcus. That man on the other side of the bed and she slept with before she slept with you, Marcus. You go ahead. See what happens, Marcus. Ride that train. See how much of a man you are. Listen to everybody else. I'm trying to tell you, Marcus. I'm trying to save you the pain. You asked for my opinion. There you go.
Hey, Aqua, I don't disagree. That is definitely the answer. All I'm saying is he won't be a better man. He will not experience the growth. They don't. But what
that's some growth for you. You find out who you are real quick, right?
Real quick, and that's my point. But here's the thing:
you find out who you are in that hospital room. You're gonna be like standing there, like she looking at him, and I'm holding her. Man, why am I doing it?
100%. And all I'm saying to you is, he has to experience whatever that's going to be, whatever that looks like. Because if he doesn't, he will possibly will, and he will sensationalize this to the point he will find himself in a position.
Or he can listen to Uncle Aquafunk and save himself in trouble.
In the chat, we got Sharon Jackson said we too hard on Marcus and the baby mama. Too hard on it. That came from Sharon Jackson. So that's Mama Jack. So that's hard on Mama Jack. So
all right, Mama Jack.
My mama's in the chat. So
I respect that.
We're being too hard on Marcus and the baby mama. So here's a question for you. Okay. And I'm gonna throw this one at you, Michael, because you're the youngest one in the bunch.
Okay. Yeah.
You're a man. So is walking away a sign of immaturity or wisdom? So thinking about that, is that a sign of being immature because you walked away, or is it a sign of being wise because you walked away? What do you think on that as a young man?
I don't think it's immature. I don't know if it's I don't know. Like, listen, I don't think it's immature at all, because at the end of the day, you have to do what's best for yourself. You know, and if you're looking at this situation and you're a little bit uncertain, and you realize, what, where I'm at right now in my life, I can't take care of this woman's baby. I can't do this right now. I think from that standpoint, it is mature. It's mature to walk away, not immature. But I will say, I wanted to say this, like, I agree with Walt and Craig. Like, I'm starting to agree, like, maybe you shouldn't just run away. Like, I was like, just run, grab your shit, run. But honestly,
I don't disagree with you either.
You know what they say? Look, I'm not fuck around, you find out. So if he really wants to see what she's about, it's only been 1 month. 1 month, you don't know what it's really going to be like. So look, he can mess around, and it's like what Aqua said. Maybe it'll end up at the hospital, and she's looking at the baby daddy. Then yeah, that'll teach him a lesson, and he'll grow and mature from that. So you don't have a crystal ball. You don't know what's going to happen. I don't really know. Like, at the end of the day, it's up to him. Like, he can stay with it, see what happens. And you're right, Walt, like, he might mature. Honestly, I do think if he stays with her and he rides it out, he will come out a better man. Like, whether it's stronger, he'll have more emotional maturity. I don't know. But
and to your point, Michael, I'm not saying he stays with her and becomes the dad. I'm saying he gets to know her and figure out. And the only reason I'm saying that is because clearly he is emotionally attached to this woman.
No, and that I agree with. I agree with that.
She has hit him with the thing. She has put the thing on. Whatever that thing is. And we all been there. We all been there. We have all been there.
He's whipped, bro.
Yeah, there you go, my man. So, and the only way he's going to escape that is if it plays out, because he can just walk away, but it's going to be like, man, I wish I had. I'd rather be, and this is just me, and I'm telling you, I'm screwed up, and I've been this way my whole life. Yeah. The thing I don't do well is, man, I knew I should have done such and such and so and so. I'd rather find out it is what it is, or not what I thought it was, and I can be like, okay, at least I made the right decision. I did everything I can do, and that's decision. And
you ain't my baby.
Well, there it is. And trust me, bro. Trust me. I'm telling you right now, it's no different than, at the end of the day, man, you still got to do what's best for you. He, at 25, I mean, unless he's living an extraordinary life, he probably is just getting to a point where he can really take care of himself. So taking care of someone else's responsibility, especially at 25 with no kids, and I think that's what the letter said. Am I right, Jack?
He didn't say if he had kids. He just said
but he did mention that he has, but it seemed that way, and we're making some assumptions. But let's be clear about this. In this day and time, he's a unicorn just by that. And you talking to a guy who was going down this, had a kid at 18. So let me disclose that. So what I'm saying to you is, man, I mean, this guy seems like he's been making good decisions up to now for whatever reason. He's avoided some of the traps. And he even still has right now. So just no decision has to be made to wake up tomorrow morning. It's not life or death for you right now. Anybody puts that kind of pressure on you is not looking out in your best interest. They're looking out in their best interest. And at the end of the day, we are all responsible for ourselves. No one is coming to save us. No one's coming to save the young lady. She's got to do what's best for her, and he's got to do what's best for him. And that's just what it is.
Well, the other thing that I wanted to kind of point out is that we're making the assumption that the young lady wants him to be involved in all these other processes. Maybe she understands that in order to get to know him, he can't get him involved in all of this, and she's just trying to have a relationship and see how that plays out.
There you go.
So it's so freaking complicated, especially when you don't have the person to be able to inquire and ask secondary questions to be able to really come up. And I understand the mechanics of this exercise, and it's really to see the different mentalities that we have and try to come up with a solution to this without having the full picture. But I think there's so many things that play into this. If it's done correctly, I think there's an opportunity for the both of them to get to know each other as individuals. but a lot of things have to play out well for that to happen.
Yes.
You know, so it is about as complicated as a situation can get.
Yeah.
No, and Mexicali, I agree with what you're saying, and I'm putting it out there. I know we had another show where it was a Battle of the Sexes show, and a lot of the women, definitely the women on the show, were saying, you know, after a year you get to know the man. Well, see, in a year there's going to be a child. If she goes through the steps, it's going to be a different. It's not going to be after a year we're going to get to know each other. It's going to be after a couple of months. It's going to be an addition. You know, we all seen well, maybe Michael haven't seen the Schoolhouse Rock. You know, the man and the lady had a little baby.
We're making the assumption that he's going to want him to be an immediate part of that child's life.
No, and you're right. You're absolutely correct. So I'm not knocking that. Again, he wrote into us. We didn't reach out and find him. And Walt, one of the things you were saying, even at 25, because I'm looking at this Michael, 21 years old, professional athlete, you know, so it's not about being, you know, in the position to take care of himself. He might be in a position to take care of himself, but this is a major move. Do
I really want to? Do I want to take care of someone else?
Thing. You know, that might not have been part of your plans. That might not have been, you know, where I want. And again, we're doing a lot of assuming, but at the same time, if he's reaching out, and I think Walt, you said that too, if he's reaching out to family and friends, and Craig, you said that as well, and now he's reaching out to a panel on a talk show, you know, it's like, you know, he's saying help. Somebody help me, you know, help
That's
me.
why I think he should just let it ride then, honestly. It's like what Walt said. If he runs now, he's going to have doubts and he's going to overthink and be wondering for the rest of his life. Like, what if I shoulda, woulda, coulda? No. Just see, and then he'll find out. Maybe in a month he'll be like, I need to leave right now, and then he'll get his answer.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, man, if you call us next week in the same situation, I would give you that same answer, and we'd probably have 1,000 more questions for you too. Yeah. And again, man, you know, like what you said, walking away is mature from the standpoint that he's doing what's best. I mean, a month, man. Let's think about this. We've all dated women for a month. Mm-hmm. You know, one day you come home and you realize, and hey, Jack, I know I'm gonna get canceled for this one. You realize, you know, and this was a real story for me. I went over that she didn't defrost her refrigerator. Her refrigerator this is 40 something years ago. Her refrigerator was full of ice. And I went over there, we had wine. I went over there, and it was my first time over her house, but she had been in my house before. She had a kid. I go to put the wine in the freezer, so when we come back from the movie across the street, it's cold. And the refrigerator, man, you couldn't even put your hand in the freezer. This is before you guys' time, Michael, where they didn't have frost-free refrigerators, right? Frost-free freezers. Anybody my age remembers your mama chopping ice in the pot of water and all that, right? We guys remember that. So when we came back, I go in, I cut it off before we left, and yada, 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 come back. And she took offense to that. And in my mind, and that's where the fun starts, I'm like, okay, your freezer is full. I'm just trying to get the ice out of here. And you got a kid, so what are you eating? I'm saying that to myself. Because I'm like, okay, so what are you guys eating over here, right? Because there's no food in the freezer. But you dressed to the nines going out the door. My man. So you dressed to the nines going out the door. So, and that was about 6 weeks maybe. And to me, as attracted as I was to her, that was an immediate turnoff to me. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? So he hasn't even had that moment yet. Right now, her breath don't even stink when she wakes up in the morning. Yeah. You know, I mean, let's just be real here, right? I mean, that's where they are right now. They're in that stage, and his don't either, you know? So all I'm saying is, if you don't let it play out, he will sensationalize it about how great a woman she was when he finds out that he doesn't even know her. But if he sticks around, he may really get to know her and like her and find out that she may be a good friend or maybe a good lover, girlfriend, wife down the road. But the way he's responding right now, he's with emotions, it seems like he is emotionally attached. And he is putting himself in an untenable position, and I don't think that's a smart thing to do.
All right.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. Did he clarify? Did he say that this was his first like romantic relationship?
No, he didn't like it, don't it?
It's no, I think even he made a comment that she was like everything he'd like looking for. I think it is what
she made him feel like for the first time he felt like
he felt like he
got
a total package.
We've all been there when a girl, like the first time, maybe you're thinking like she's your queen, and then you realize like, bro, she's not my queen. So
been there a couple times. I've been there a couple times.
From the very beginning, something about her felt different. Mature, grounded, soft-spoken, genuinely good for my spirit. We connected quickly, and for the first time in a long time, I could actually picture a future with someone. So, but so what's a long time when you're 25? So it's hard to say.
No, but it's relative. It's relative.
Yeah.
It's relative, man. So I admire the brother for coming clean with us anyway, and I respect the young lady because you probably didn't have a choice in telling him because he was going to find out if the math wasn't adding up. I get that.
I don't know, because it could have been the other way too. Because I had a really near and dear friend of mine who was in a similar situation, but she made him believe it was his. We started doing the math, and hey, bro, that ain't yours. I don't care what you say.
And was like, it's mine.
And he was adamant that it was his, and I was like, dude, you met her this date. She's this far along. Unless it was an immaculate, conception. This ain't yours. I don't care how you want to play it out. It's just not going to happen.
Just think in today's time, you have all type of science out there that you can figure these things out. 40,
speaking of
years
today's
ago, that wasn't the case.
Yeah. Speaking of today's time,
a lot of guys that found out.
Yeah. Well, I got to disagree with you on one thing. That sensationalized thing about sitting back going, I wonder. There's been time in this day and age with Facebook and all that. There's been many times I saw old girlfriends and I was like, I dodged a bullet.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So that might be a thing. That's probably
not in real time. But not in real time. This man, see, here's the thing. He's in real time. Yeah, you sit back and let's be clear about this. If we're really being honest, right? Any woman that and I'll use you and I as an example, not these other fine gentlemen on the thing. It's probably some women out there.
We're degenerates, okay.
It's probably women out there looking at us saying, "Ooh, I dodged the bullet."
So, I guarantee that.
It goes both ways, man. But I got to tell you, man, once you go to your 10, 20, 30, 40-year high school reunion, you be like, man, what the hell was I thinking? Yeah, so we all been there. We were in both sides of that, man. So that's what it is, man. There's women probably looking at us right now saying, I knew he was crazy when I met him. I told my mom, my mama told me he was crazy, leave him alone. So, so hey man,
Marcus might look back on this a couple years from now and be like, Trump was right.
Yeah, hey man. Good luck, Marcus. Hey Marcus, I hope you maybe send us some more information. Let us know how it plays out. Let us know how close we were, how close we were to being right with the scenario, and how far we off because we imagined some things that weren't in play. Right. So, but hey, I look at my man Michael. Let's be clear about this. If we're dating in our age range and dating in our weight class, and I'm using weight class to signify age range.
Yeah,
Michael, you, my man, are the golden child right now.
Maybe
you got brains, you got good looks, you're a professional ball player. You not only that, bro, you got opportunity. You got a lot of options.
Hey man, it's hard.
Yeah, so what I'm saying to you, man, you got to be careful because understand, Jack, a lot of people look at you as a way out. And that seems kind of cold to some people. And any woman that says I'm being sexist, all I'm asking, what advice would you give your son?
My son?
No, I'm saying not you, but any woman who thinks I'm being sexist right now.
I was like, damn, that's a deep question.
I'm asking them to consider what advice would you give your son? Because if it were your son, and say Michael Charles' situation, She'd be like, hey, look, you need to be careful out there. As I'm sure your mom and your aunts and any woman in your life is telling you,
100%.
Be careful, be
Yep.
careful. Yeah,
And
because it's not a game.
And again, this is not about us bashing women.
No, not at all. Not at all.
There are some,
but it does change the scenario.
It does. So I mean, I'm just saying, Michael. I played Division I ball. I played at that level, and there were people in school. I mean, at school, who said they're only here to find their husband. I'm only going to school to find my husband. And they was at every game. They didn't miss not one game. They was outside the practice facility. Because that's what they were looking for. So it's not like it's fake that what we're saying, and it goes both ways. There are a whole lot of men out there that's attaching themselves to certain women because that's their gravy train walking through, and it's vice versa. So we're in that's the world we're in. So, but gentlemen, we have finished out this hour. So I definitely appreciate y'all, man, for your input and your everything that y'all did, all your insights, your opinions. I'm gonna ask y'all to hang over just a little bit as we go into the back. But I want to say thank you to each and every person who was viewing today, those who are making comments in the chat. It was definitely a really good show. Hopefully, Marcus, we were able to give you some insight on what to do. I mean, I know we went both ways on how to figure it out, but it really is a decision that you're going to have to make. We all have our opinions, but when it's all said and done, if you feel this is the person for you, then you go for it. If you feel that you need to step off and you're not ready, I would say, me personally, I wouldn't get myself or put myself in there, because you are going to affect a whole human being that had nothing to do with any of this. So with all that being said, whatever you do, please write us back so we know which way you went, if you're okay with that, and that way we can at least know, hey, what did we say, and did anything we say give you some form of guidance in which way you should go. This is the last live show we'll be doing for the year for the Gentleman's Journal, but we're going to ask you to stay tuned for 2026 when we come back with a new brand, the Iron Sharpening Iron Universe, and we're moving in a new direction. So you'll see some changes happening real soon. I know we got what we got coming up next will be the Ladies Diary. So if you get a chance, that's the first Wednesday of the month. I know that panel is being developed now, and they got some powerful messages. And then Monday through Saturday, 12 noon Central Time is Ask a B. So make sure that you tune in and watch B. She be dropping some real knowledge on very similar situations that we're seeing. Very similar. So if you get a chance to check that out, please, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you like and what we're doing here, share it with a friend or two and let them know that the Iron Sharpening Iron universe is growing and glowing, and we want you to grow and glow with us as well. So until next time, we ask you to stay blessed and peace, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Stay back for me, please.